Uh, Now we can discuss about the some other key topic. Okay. See, we created the indexes and everything is good. But the thing is like, uh, uh, if you go here, if you go here, we got the data. Okay. So, but we modified the data and we deleted the data. That time, what will happen? The pages will go as a empty, right? So in the initial and just we discussed it, right? Whenever the data is comes from the user perspective, okay, the data has to store in the rows. The rows will be stored in the pages. So if you inserting the data, that means the data will be storing into the page. So if you delete the this particular rows, that means that particular rows related in the pages, that it will go for as a delete, right? So that means the page will have empty space. So what I mean to say, if you insert, it will take the space. If you delete it, what will happen? The data will be deleted. But what are the space we have allocated and what are the pointer we have allocated? That will be go for in the that particular page, right? It will form like a some kind of empty pages, right? So that empty uh, formation we can call like a fragmentation. So the fragmentation means like a it's a key topic and key understanding for get the better performance. Okay, why? Because when we happen, if you see like we have a huge table, that huge table having a lot of update and delete and modifications happen. Because of this delete and modifications, the pages are modified and that pages are giving result as a some empty pages and empty data inside the pages. Okay. So if you do like that, what will happen while searching the data? It has to search for the pages, right? So if you go for the like a index scan, what it is going? It is going for the pages with the middle range, right? So that means it has to search for the more pages. Okay. Why? Because uh, uh, come on, come on. What will happen? What is that? Yeah. So if you delete it, what will happen? Empty data will be there and scan will be more happening because it has to go for check the data, but the data is not there. Then it will go for another page. So because of that fragmentation, we can see the slow performance. So the definition of the fragmentation is the fragmentation it will happen whenever the huge modifications happen on the table, like a update, delete, and some other operations. That operations will give the result as a empty pages on the uh, empty space on the pages. This we can call like a fragmentation. So here the fragmentations are two types. So the fragmentations are two types. Those are internal fragmentation and external fragmentation. So the fragmentation are two types. Those are internal fragmentation and external fragmentation. Okay. So when will be internal fragmentation will happen? When will be external fragmentation will happen? So internal fragmentation is like uh, whenever the data coming, the data is not properly filling. So I want to like out of 8 KB data, page left empty. So I initially what we discussed, the data will be stored in the page. The each page it is stored in the 8 KB, right? So here while filling the data, the page is not filling properly because it is not filling the entire 8 KB. It is filling some data, some in the one page, and it is going for another page. So that means it's supposed to enter the 8 page, 8 KB data in one page, like one page 8 KB. Okay. So the page data is stored in the 8 KB, but here the data is not storing into the 8 KB. What is it doing? I have like a 38 KB data I have. So suppose like 36 by uh, 36 by 8 means 3 point something, right? 3 point, like almost 4 pages we required. 4 pages required to store the data. Why? Because each page will be 8 KB. So KB. So 36 KB data we required 4 pages. But this 36 pages KB, the data stored in the 8 pages. Instead of storing into the 4 pages, it is storing into the 8 pages. So that means we are not properly filling the data. So that means the page having empty space, right? So that empty space we can call like a internal fragmentation. Okay. So what is the fragmentation? The fragmentation will happen whenever the use modifications occur. That will give the result of the free space. And internal fragmentation is like the data is not properly filling. Okay. It is giving the what I mean to say. Uh, Instead of storing the 4 pages, it is storing in the 8 pages, and also it is happening because of the delete operations as well. So what are the empty space occurring? That fragmentation like a called like a internal fragmentation. So what is the external fragmentation? So external fragmentation is like a, suppose like I have a 124 KB KB data. I have 1204 KB data. So that means how many pages I required? Call calculator. Come on. 10 124. Come on. 1024. But anyway, leave it. 8. So almost 150 pages we required. 150 pages required to store the data. So here think like all 150 pages are filled. Okay. So here what we discussed in the extent, right? So extent means like a kind of a 8 pages we can call like a one extent. So call 150 by 8. We need almost 19 extents. Okay. So here almost we need 190 extents to store the extn extents. So 1204 KB data, we required 150 pages and we required 119 extents. So some point of time, what will happen? We deleted the data and we modified the data, that is giving some free space. Okay. So here out of 150, like 12004 KB, we deleted the data. So almost 1000 KB data free. Okay. We have a data 1204 KB, and in that some in the future or upcoming transition, we deleted the entire data. There is no inserting, there is some other happening. We deleted the data. We have 104 KB. So we discussed that shrinking operation. The shrinking operation means to release the unwanted pages uh, from uh, from database to discrete. Like you remember when we discussing of the shrinking, data file shrinking. The data file shrinking means like to release the unwanted free space from database to disk. So if you go for shrinking, what will happen? The pages will go for like a rearrange, right? So here what will happen? 1204 1000 KB free space, but there is no guarantee to like a serial number of the one page, two page, three page data has to free, right? So I have a one page that stored in the one information, like one record stored in the two page. Okay. Then I have a 200 record that is stored in the how many like 120 page. 120 page. Okay. So I have a record called like a 500 uh, record that is having kind of like a here 145 page. 145 page. So later we deleted the data. So here we deleted the data. So I deleted the 150 data, that is 145. I deleted the 200 record, that is 120. So like almost the data is empty, like deleted. So what we are going to do? We are going to shrinking. The shrinking means like the pages will rearrange. If the pages are will arrange means the extent also will rearrange. So that means here go for yeah. So here 12004 minus 100,000 equal to we have a 204 data we have. So we can give 100 KB to disk. So now the thing is like to calculator 204 by 8. How much? It required 26 pages. So 26 pages. So that means how many extents it required? Uh, 5, 1, 2, 16, 3, 4 extents required, right? But the thing is like uh, uh, when we go for this scenario, what will happen? The previously the pointer will pointing to the another page, like another extent, but that extent is no more. Why? Because our pages is reshuffled. So the scans will be more. Like now, if you go for the from the starting, 120 like 1204 KB data, we required 150 pages, and that required 119 extents. The data will be allocated accordingly. Some point of time, the data will be deleted. That gave almost 1000 KB free space. Then what we did, we have some space crunch. Then what we did, did the sync operation. When we go for sync operation, what will happen? The pages will go for rearrange. Then uh, 204 KB that required 26 pages. That means that required 4 extents. Now, when we go for the searching the SQL query, the SQL what it will do? It will the previously my data like a here 300 also presented on the 145 page. But now there is no 145 page because we shuffle the page. We moved the data from 145 to another place. So it will first check for the 145 because previously pointer pointing to the 145 pointer. Okay, so that means our data will be retrieving very slow. So that is the reason that syncing, whenever you go for data syncing, we need to update the rebuild index. Okay, or update stats that will give the some better performance. So that is the reason the people will ask, are you recommended to go for data file syncing? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Why? Because if you go for syncing, that will provide the external fragmentation that will give the performance issues. So here internal fragmentation and as well as the external fragmentation both will give the performance issues. Okay, so in order to get the better performance, what we need to do, we have to uh, restructure the indexes so that the data will be again better performance. So how can we go for index restructure? Okay, so uh, as I mentioned, the fragmentation is empty pages. Fragmentations are two types, internal and external. If you empty pages are more, okay, that time the index scan and seek will be more. So that time we need to go for two mechanism. Why? Because we need to restructure the our index so that data will be pointing accordingly. It will be search the data. Otherwise, data has to search more pages and it has to pull the data. So even though if you have the index, okay, but some point of time deletion happen or some other thing happen that give the empty pages. Then what of the data is coming? It will go for new pages. Then uh, the look what are the previously data stored. Okay, that give the searching will be more. So that is the reason we have to restructure the indexes. So when we will go for the restructures, like based upon the fragmentation. Okay. So the fragmentation, based upon the fragmentation, we can go for the indexes redesign. So here index redesigns are two types. One is rebuild index and another one is reorganize index. So let me stop the recording. Then we'll go for the other topic. Then we can discuss. So this is for the fragmentation and fragmentation theory. Now next topic we can cover both like a clustered index, kind of how the data and searching, and we can go for some deletion, how the fragmentation is happening, and how the searching the data. Okay, so let me stop the record. I hope you understand for the fragmentation and the fragmentation types. So coming session we can go for rebuild and reorganize, and when we need to go for rebuild, when we need to go for reorganizations, and what are the challenges for rebuild and reorganizations, and what are the metrics for the real-time world we have to go for rebuild or reorganize, and some other thing. Let me stop the recording. We'll go for another topic.